Tell me why you want to ban the veil.
Well, I mean, I don't want to ban all veils. I mean, I think that women have the right to wear the headscarf if they want to. I think it's a tool for repressing and restricting women, but they have that right. But I think the burqa, the niqab, the all-encompassing chador, that definitely needs to be banned because it's very much like a mobile prison or a body bag. And I think it's outrageous that women should have to be walking around in this way and their bodies and lives and rights be so restricted because religion or their husband or the regressive imam down the street demands that she be dressed in such a way.
I guess you've been accused of being intolerant or racist. What do you have to say to that?
Well, I mean, these are two issues. One is that criticizing or condemning a belief has nothing to do with racism. That's always been the case. You can criticize Christianity or make fun of, a clergyman. Nobody condemns you criticizes you of being a racist. And this is something very specific to the Islamic movement because I think they use that as a way of silencing people from criticizing Islam and its political movement. Clearly, it has nothing to do with racism. I've said it day in and day out, and I'm going to continue saying it until people stop saying that it's got anything to do with racism. It hasn't. In fact, I think it's racist to think that millions of people are actually part and parcel of this despicable movement that is making life hell for millions of people. And yes, I am intolerant, as we all should be. We should be intolerant against misogyny, against inhuman, barbaric, brutal laws and beliefs. And we are. Society is often, we don't tolerate rape, we don't tolerate child abuse, we don't tolerate homophobia or xenophobia. We shouldn't also tolerate the rights violations that take place by a political Islamic movement where women are very often its first victims.
Are you talking about a specific movement or just in general the Islamic movements?
Yeah, I mean, I think I know that very often there is this attempt to separate, the Islamic regime of Iran and Saudi Arabia are one part of it, and then there are the good ones and the moderate ones and so on and so forth. I think they're all really one and the same. And I think the so-called moderates are actually the public relations arm of Al-Qaeda and the Islamic Republic of Iran. They're here to give a more palatable face and to justify and apologize for anything from suicide bombings to the violation of women's rights. And I think, they've done quite well, actually. They've been very successful in doing that. But I think people like myself, given the fact that we've lived under Islamic law, we know it better than many others, have not only we're in a unique position really to be able to expose them, but also we're in a position to make it more comfortable and easier for other people to say, hey, wait a minute, there's something right about what she's saying, what the others are saying.
Why did you join the ex-Muslim movement that you are a part of?
Yeah, I mean, I think this movement is actually very important because in countries where Islam is in power, people who leave Islam, who renounce religion, are considered apostates. It's a crime that's actually punishable by death. And in countries where there's no Islamic law, like in Europe, still people who are apostates face death threats and intimidation. I myself have received a number of death threats, as have others who are active in the ex-Muslim movement. And I think one of the things we're trying to do is to break this taboo, and to pave the way for people who want to leave Islam to be able to do it more easily.
You talk about Holocaust.
Yeah, oftentimes I think terrible things are labeled after the event. When during the Holocaust, it wasn't necessarily called a Holocaust. It was something that was labeled afterwards. Oftentimes they wait till hundreds and thousands and millions are massacred before they'll call it a genocide. And I think that we're going through it now. We're living through an Islamic Holocaust today, and possibly a lot of people aren't comfortable with labeling it as such. They will eventually. They're going to have to, given the realities of this movement. What we're just doing is labeling it as it goes on.
Og Alþjóðamálastofnun nefnir til fyrirlesturs með Maryam Namazie í Odda í hádeginu á morgun og aðgangur ókeypis.